Welcome to
All for One Stories.
The story you will be listening to is Close Encounter of the Santa Kind by Joe Potts.
Jeffy Briscoe was three-alarm excited as his parents tucked him into bed on Christmas Eve. It was that magic time of year. Santa, presents, Jesus' birth.
Go to sleep,
said Dad.
The sooner you're asleep, the sooner he'll come.
That's right,
said Mom.
And don't worry about what Noah said.
Okay,
said Jeffy. But Jeffy did worry. Yesterday at a family Christmas party, he had tried to tell his cousin Noah that Christmas was about Jesus. Jeffy wanted everyone to know about Jesus and was surprised when Noah had told him he wasn't interested. Jeffy lay in his bed for a long time, thinking about Jesus and Santa. After a while, he opened his door and listened for any sign of activity in the house. All quiet.
Mom and Dad are sound asleep,
he thought. He went downstairs as quietly as he could. The Christmas tree, with all its promise of a magical season, stood in the corner of the living room. The only thing more exciting than the tree was, of course, a visit from Santa Claus. Jeffy passed the tree and sat down on the floor in front of the fireplace. Normally, he wouldn't be allowed to sit so close, but there was no fire, and besides, Santa was coming. No way was Jeffy going to miss Santa coming down that chimney. The cookies and hot chocolate placed on the hearth ledge by Mom were waiting to greet Santa, and so was Jeffy. After sitting still in the quiet for what seemed like a very long time, Jeffy heard something, a small thud from above, then a slightly louder clank. He stopped breathing for a second, and his eyes widened. The noises came from the roof. It was Santa's sleigh. Santa was coming. Jeffy heard light footsteps on the roof, and then a rustling hollow sound coming from the fireplace. Santa was getting ready to come down the chimney. Jeffy moved the cookies and hot chocolate aside to make sure there was enough room for Santa's ample form. He didn't want to end up on the naughty list for messing up Santa's nice red suit. The noises got louder and closer, and finally, with a puff of dust, a small figure plopped into the fireplace.
Hi, Santa.
Then Jeffy noticed that the figure wasn't wearing a red suit. It wasn't wearing a red hat. It didn't have a white beard. It didn't say ho, ho, ho. Instead, it was wearing a rather plain gray garment that Jeffy thought looked like shiny PJs.
Maybe so the chimney wouldn't get his red suit dirty?
Jeffy thought. The figure didn't exactly look jolly either, but it did look kind of friendly and almost cuddly. Sort of like an elf.
Santa?
Santa? Is your name Santa?
Said the figure, in a voice that Jeffy thought was surprisingly high and not ho-ho-ho-ish at all.
My name? No, isn't that your name? Didn't you come from your home up in the Arctic?
Jeffy remembered that detail from a long discussion with Mom about the fine points of Santa and his daily life. The creature seemed to consider that for a moment.
Yes, but it's pronounced Arcturus.
And didn't you bring us Christmas presents, Santa?
The creature made a noise that might have been a laugh.
Your pronunciation is flawed. My name is Nansa. And what is Christmas?
What's Christmas? Are you serious?
I believe your people refer to Sirius as the dog star. No, I'm from Arcturus, which is a much better neighborhood. But please, explain Christmas. What is it?
Jeffy jumped to his feet.
Christmas is the best. It's the time of year when everyone is happy and people give presents and sing and laugh and joy is everywhere. Joy to the world!
That sounds wonderful. So people aren't like that all the time?
No, sometimes a little, but mostly people only feel that way at Christmas.
But why? Why at Christmas? What exactly is Christmas?
Christmas is when we celebrate the birth of Jesus, of course.
Birth of Jesus? Who is Jesus?
You don't know who Jesus is?
Never heard of Jesus. You celebrate Jesus at Christmas?
Jeffy began talking softly to himself, as if trying to process this foreign information.
You don't know Jesus? Never heard of Jesus? You don't know Jesus?
Jeffy was tingling with excitement, his eyes widening. He knew this was the opportunity he'd been waiting for. He looked Nansa squarely in the eye.
You don't know about Jesus? Well, sit down, Santa, because I'm going to tell you all about Jesus.
And so he did. Jeffy told Nansa all about Jesus, how he came for everyone, including Santa Claus. Nansa listened with curiosity.
So that's who Jesus is. He's the love and forgiveness and hope. He restores our place with his Father, and that's why you can have hope for the future.
Love, forgiveness, hope. I will consider these things.
With that, he turned and went back up the chimney. Jeffy smiled to himself, and only then realized that he'd forgotten all about presents. The next morning, Jeffy excitedly told his parents that he had seen Santa.
He didn't know Jesus, Mom. I told him all about Jesus. I've always wanted to tell someone.
That's nice, son. Did he leave you presents?
Presents? Mom, he gave me the best present ever. I didn't get to tell Noah about Jesus, but I got to tell Santa.
That must have been some dream.
I'll say. I've never seen him like this.
Jeffy walked to the fireplace and stared at it for a minute. Then he went to the tree. He looked at the ornaments and the lights and the nativity scene underneath.
Best Christmas ever.
Sometime later, on a planet orbiting Arcturus, Nansa and his family erected a Christmas tree. They placed a nativity scene underneath and some presents. Nansa related again how a wise man named Jeffy had revealed to him the secret of eternal life. It was the best Christmas ever.
That was Close Encounter of the Santa Kind by Joe Potts, directed by Grettelyn Darkey. The cast in order of appearance: Joe Potts as the narrator, Tom Marinchak as Jeffy's dad, Dana Rizzo as Jeffy's mom, Stephen Marinchak as Jeffy, Michael Thimons as Nansa. Our audio technician was Tom Marinchak. Thank you for listening to
All for One Stories,
a production of We Are One Body Audio Theater.